trips, you know. I leave there. But when my mother died, about 2 weeks after my mother died, my sister comes down, and she's been a distant part of the family. I've seen her maybe 5 or 6 times for the last 15 years, 20, something like that, and it's mostly funerals or something. Good person, really is, means well. Love her to death. But I was, she had come down 2 weeks after Mom's funeral and wanted us siblings to come over to my sister's house next door, wanted to cook for us and go over there. And you know, there's a little while you get that feeling if you read energy. She says, "You go for a walk?" I said, "Yeah." We get out and we go for a walk. She tells me God sent her down for me. He said, she's like, I don't know why you, but he specifically sent me down here for you. And we talked. I don't remember a whole lot about the conversation, but even then I could talk about God all day long. And I was an alcoholic, basically. Closet alcoholic, but nevertheless an alcoholic. So we walked or whatever. Everything ended well, hugged and everything. She left. She wrote some letters later. I just never did. I opened one, I think, just glanced at it, and I threw the rest of them away. I didn't have the pull to read them. So when I was led back up there, when I did awaken, I didn't know what to expect. But when God told me I would die, be reborn, and I would be the one at the beginning, I had no clue what was going on. Then he led me to another little church. To a good friend of mine that I worked with for a while, co-pastors at, way out in the boonies, a little town. I go down there, and this is when God really shows you how he works and who he is. You know, the first Sunday I go in, I sit down. The presence is awesome. You know, walk in. There's like meditations, type music playing, Spirit of God. I'm rolling in it. And that pastor didn't know me from Adam. Middle ways to his sermon up there, the Holy Spirit took him over, and he kindly dead into me, and I was several pews back, 3 or 4 back in the congregation, maybe 5. And he looked dead at me and he said, "You have something you need to share." And I just kindly shook my head yes, and you know, humbled as tears come out of my eyes, then humbled in the spirit. And he went on to say a few things. And, service is over. We leave. I go back next Sunday. I'm led to go back. I'm in there. And there was another couple who had come in that later revealed themselves to be strangers to that particular church anyways, but was led there that day. I sat, I think, in the same spot I sat the first Sunday. And kind of the same scenario when the pastor got up there this time, middle ways through, the Holy Spirit came in and took him over again and looked dead at me, everyone in there, and said, "If you don't, he will raise another in 30 years. And based off that, I knew what that meant. Just because of that clip, I remembered of what my father told my mother, God told him, about holding the faith to your calling, your awakening, full awakening, not stopping midways to a false God, right? Going all the way to Christ, getting on that cross with him. That's what answering that call is. And there, you know, I knew immediately what was happening, how God was working, him proving everything to me, you know. And then the couple that came in, it was Spanish. And that guy got up and gave a testimony. He was very quiet and humble type people. And he was overwhelmed, he said, by the presence of God. He felt in that church. He never felt nothing like it that day. And you know, he said God had put a calling on him as well. He was like a foreman, supervisor or something, maybe at a construction company. But he said God called him to be a bridge between Spanish people, white people, African Americans, you know. We're all God's people. You know, and after God speaking to me through the pastor, and then hearing him come up and tell him what God had just told him, and then about feeling the presence of God, that's when I knew who was dealing with me. I never looked back. Fought many a battle. And will gladly fight many more. But that's a short segment out of my journey so far. I love you. God bless. Stay alive.